Hello everyone, ARG back with some more Aki today. We will be continuing our quest to winning the Stanley Cup with the LA Kings in the historical challenge. We are still first in the Campbell Conference, so doing pretty good in that regard. However, the roster is about to change and I don't know how I feel about it yet. So, I alluded to that in my previous stream that when comes February, I go ahead and send contract offers to all of the players that I want to bring back. So, since I have the extra challenge of limiting the players that I can get with, letters ARG, as has been discussed several times, I not only offered contract extensions to players that I want to keep, but to other players that just literally fit that requirement, just to make sure that I'm going to have enough players. Now, there's a few players that do not have AR or G as an initial, and I am not trading them just yet because they are not on expiring contracts. I did say that initially I would keep those guys to give me kind of a chance to keep up and make sure that I have enough players with those initials and everything. So for example, a guy like Mike Rushalinski, M and K is not AR or G, but he's going to be staying on the team because he has a contract that expires at the end of the next season. So he's still gonna be on the team until the end of the season, but yeah. So here you see all of the guys that I am bringing back. So I'm only bringing back players that fit the bill. Oh, except this guy here. Apparently I screwed up. Okay. No, I didn't. G works. Never mind. Oh, it's gonna be tough. Maybe. Alright, so yeah, they all fit, they all have a AR or a G. Actually, none of them has an A, but anyway. So Ron Duguay, I probably wouldn't be trying to bring him back under normal circumstances, but he fits the requirement. Wayne Gretzky, I wasn't too sure if I wanted to bring him back or not, but I just decided to keep him. So Mike Ridley is gonna be back, Glenn Ely, Rolly Melanson, so that's gonna be probably my goaltender tandem for a little bit. I've been winning with them, so I don't see a big need to change them right now. Randy Ladouceur, Steve Richmond, Gord Deneen, Mike Gardner, Paul Gay, and Gord Walker, whom I always think it's Jeff Walker with, Jeff with a G, so that's not his name, but that's what I always feel like. We still have a few injuries. Aside from Dean Kennedy, all of them should be resolved during this stream, so hopefully we don't get any more injuries. And to round this up, I have two trades that should be going through today. One that I think it's pretty even on both sides and everything. The other one, I know I am not getting great value back for what I'm giving. I think that it could be better, but I had a hard time. So I've been targeting defensemen, and I tried to go after Ray Bork again. Pretty much impossible to get him. So then I was like, well, I'm gonna go 1 star lower, and I tried to go for Gary Suter in Calgary, and I just couldn't get it working either. So I had to settle for other defensemen that are gonna be okay to good, but they're not exactly in the same category as a Gary Suter or a Ray Bork. So, and in exchange, I'm trading players that have expiring contracts that don't fit AR or G. So I'm getting players that fit AR or G in return. So I had to try to make it all fit. It was actually pretty cool to have that extra challenge, because otherwise I probably would just have fleeced someone somewhere. So yeah, I'm ending up with a trade that I'm pretty satisfied with what I'm giving for what I'm getting, and another one where I know I'm not getting as good a return as I was hoping to get. It is what it is. Alright, enough talking already. It's been almost 6 minutes of non-stop blabbering, whatever. So let's play some hockey here. So today we're gonna do February. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do more than that. We will see. All right. Right, so let's take a look. Here's a memorable night for Bernie Nichols. Oh, former LA King, traded to the Washington Capitals. He had 4 assists against the Rangers. There you go. Board confidence update. Bruce McNall is still satisfied with my work. Alright. Yeah, we went 11-1-1 last month. I think that's 2 months in a row that we've had that exact record or something. So that's pretty good. Right, Bob Carpenter is about to be back. That's one of the players I'm going to need to figure out what I want to do with him. He has an expiring contract, and of course he doesn't fit, so I didn't extend him. I might need to trade him. I don't know. Wayne Gretzky is ready to return to the ice. That'd be great. Paul Gay is back. That'd be great. Steve Richmond is ahead of schedule. Awesome. Right, Gordonine signed his contract extension. Ron Duguay signed. Mike Gartner signed. Wayne Gretzky signed a 6-year extension at $710,000 per year, so that's pretty good. Paul Gay signed, Glenn Ely signed, Randy Ladouceur signed, Rody Melanson signed, Steve Richmond signed, Mike Ridley signed, and Gord, not Jeff with a G, Walker signed. Alrighty. So everybody signed, so we're good there as far as that goes. So now everybody that I have left unsigned that have expired contracts are players that I need to trade or decide to keep and let go for nothing at the end of the season. Everybody else that fit ARG was re-signed. Alright, and now there's a guy named Mark Lavar that's on waivers. I am not going to pick him up. And we are hosting the New Jersey Devils here, so we have 2 home games, and then we're going to hit the road a little bit, and then come back home for a chunk of February here. Alright, so the Devils are 21, 28, and 3. We are 1-0 against the Devils this season. Let's see if we can beat them again with my lineup. With my Gretzky-less lineup. Alright, so Sean Burke is going to be in net for the Devils. We are going to go with Glenn Ely. And we won 6-1. It's as if we didn't need Wayne Gretzky. Maybe I should trade him for Ray Bork. Just joking. Alright, we outshot the Devils 46-26. Luc Robitaille was the first star of the game. He had 3 goals and an assist. Steve Duchesne was the second star with 2 assists, and Mike Gartner was the third star with 2 assists as well. Yet again, full capacity here in Englewood. 16,005 people in attendance. That's the max that we can host. So Luc Robitaille opened up the scoring in the first period. That was his 25th of the season. That was also on the power play from Steve Duchesne and Mike Gartner. Then Luc Robitaille again from Mike Ridley. It was 2-0 Kings. Then the Devils scored, and then Bob Carpenter scored from John Tonelli and Dave Taylor. It was a 3-1 lead for the Kings here after 1. There was a fight between... Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't a fight. Well, there was a fight, but what I was looking at wasn't a fight. It was a boarding major, so I might have an injury here. There was a fight between Gord Dineen and Craig Wallanen. Alright, and then in the second period we scored 3 unanswered goals. Chris Conto scored his 10th from Bob Kudelski and Steve Duchesne, then Mike Ridley from Luke Robitaille and Mike Gartner, and then Luke Robitaille completed his hat-trick from Jim Fox and Doug Crossman. It was 6-1 for the Kings after 2. There was a fight between Gord Dineen and Jim Korn. Then nobody scored in the third period. There were also no fights, and that was that. Right, hopefully we don't have an injury. Oh, there was an injury, but not to us. The injury was to the Devils. Alright, so let's take a look here. Alright, so no further action needed for New Jersey's Ed Kastelik, so he was looked at for that boarding that he did against us, but they decided to not suspend him. And then Craig Wallanen got hurt for 7 months in that game against us. He's done for the season. Broken bone in his elbow. Kirk Muller extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had a goal in that game against us. As we saw, Luke Robitaille had a good game. He had 3 goals and an assist. Mario Lemieux is day-to-day. Okay, shouldn't hurt the Pens too much. That's not a super long injury. Mark Howe is suspended in Philadelphia. He's going to miss 6 games. Brett Hull is suspended. Hey, FJ. What's up, buddy? Brett Hull is suspended. He's going to miss 1 game. Bob Carpenter on the break of returning. Alright, that's good. Come back so I can trade you. Steve Richmond almost 100%. Oh, and my trade with the Boston Bruins went through, so that's the one that I feel is probably the most even one of the 2 that I'm going to be going through here. Alright, so I'm getting Gary Galley. I'm pretty good. I'm starting a 4-day off stretch, so that's always nice. So I'm doing pretty good, and I get to do some hockey here. Alright, so I'm getting Gary Galley from Boston now. Gary Galley did play in LA in his career, so that's not too much of a stretch. And I've always liked Gary Galley anyway, so it felt like he was like the defenseman I should be going after. So he's... Oh, he has a minor injury right now. But anyway, so he's a 2-star defenseman, 3-star potential, so, you know, not fully developed. You should be getting better than a 2-star talent. What kind of issue did you run into your save? So for Gary Galley, I'm giving up Doug Crossman in a 7th round draft pick, so that's not too bad. Now Crossman is rated higher, he's a 3-star defenseman and everything, but Gary Galley is probably a little bit better of a puck-moving defenseman, and that is kind of lacking on my team, so I will take him gladly. So I'm going to complete the trade here. Right, so the first of my 2 deals went through. I don't have to change much of anything. Oh. So you can't just blow up the team and just do a rebuild or something? Full-blown rebuild? Alright, so Galley cannot play with his minor injury, but Richmond can play, so I'm not gonna mess with that here. Alright, and George McPhee is on waivers, and so is Russ Fitzpatrick. Oh, I think Gary Galley might need a contract extension too. Oh, you can't be attached to your players, man. That's not the way to do it. Yeah, Galley needs a contract extension, so I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that right now. Alright. Oh yeah, he's not asking for too much at all. You can get it, Gary. There you go. Alrighty. Now I've been thinking about maybe picking up that Russ Fitzpatrick guy, but I'm gonna need to pass him through waivers too, so I'm just not gonna worry about it. Alright, so my other trade went through. Alright, so great night for Paul Coffey. He had 3 goals and 2 assists against the Blues. That's indeed a pretty good showing here. Brett Hall is back from suspension. He is back in the lineup in St. Louis. Bob Carpenter is also back in my lineup, but it's from injury. So is Steve Richmond. Gary Galley signed his new deal. Oh, see, he's already a 2.5-star player. Just being with us, he already became better. Alright, so Chicago is looking to move Bill Watson, 1-star player. Oh, the destination is believed to be Toronto. Okay. And then my trade. So the other trade is the trade that I'm losing, kinda. But kind of have to stick to what I'm doing. Oh, I know, FJ, but you know, you're gonna need to make a decision. All right, so I'm trading Steve Duchesne because he doesn't have an AR or a G in his name, and I'm trading as well John Tonelli for the same reasons, and they have expiring contracts, to the Islanders for Gerald Deduck, who has a G, and Randy Wood, who has a R in their names. I know it's a little bit to the advantage of the Islanders, and I'm not gonna deny it, but it helps my D a little bit, and I mean Randy Wood should be able to play on the third line and, you know, produce some points. So yeah. All right. And again, I don't need to move anything because I traded a D for a D and a left wing for a left wing, so I should be good. Now I need to go and check to see if they need contract extensions. And they don't. Alright, so those are the only guys that I have left that I'm gonna need to decide what to do with. Like, King icon Dave Taylor is gonna need to be moved because I don't want to lose him for nothing. Alright. Yeah, Randy Wood was not an elite goal scorer, but he should help rounding up my team. I already have a lot of offensive power, so having that kind of forward is not gonna hurt me too much, I don't think. Now, the deduct for Duchesne makes me a little bit worse on D. I will agree to that. So, but I couldn't get anybody else. Alright, we're about to host the Buffalo Sabres. They are 21, 25, and 7. We are 1-0 against the Sabres this season. Let's see if we can beat them again. So Randy Wood is going to be playing on my third line, just like I expected him to. Yeah, I can't wait for Gretzky to come back. I don't know. I don't think that Randy Wood was that kind of player. Like, I remember a game that I was watching, the Sens against New Jersey, because New Jersey has Randy Wood's son, and Miles Wood is kind of a little bit of a gritty player and everything. And Ray Ferraro on the telecast was saying about how his dad was absolutely not like that. So I don't know. I only have a vague recollection of Randy Wood in my head. Alright, so we won 4-3. Jacques Cloutier is going to be in net for the Sabres. Rolly Melanson is going to be in net for us. Oh, we lost after all those trades. I should never have made them. Look at that. We lost 7-4. That's it. I should get fired. We were outshot 38-32. Joe Rickey was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Ray Shepard was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Dave Andreychuk was the third star with 3 assists. Right, 16,000 in fact, so it was a sellout crowd again. We opened up the scoring in the first. Chris Contos scored short-handed. That was unassisted. Then Luc Robitaille scored from Mike Gartner and Randy Ladouceur. It was 2-0 for the Kings, but then Buffalo scored twice to tie the game before the end of the period. 2-2 after 1. Then in the second period, Buffalo scored 3 times, made it 5-2. Then Steve Richmond scored his first of the season from Chris Contos and Paul Fenton, made it 5-3. Buffalo after 2. Then in the third, Buffalo scored, made it 6-3. Then Mike Gartner scored his 50th on the power play from Mike Ridley, made it 6-4. But then with 3 seconds left to go in the game, Buffalo scored in an empty net, and we lost 7-4. Oh, Jim Fox is hurt. That's not good. Ugh. Jim Fox is hurt for 2 to 3 weeks. Alright, so strained rib cage muscle. Ray Shepard extended his goal streak to 5 games against us. He had a goal and 2 assists. Memorable night for Gary. See, Gary Suter had a memorable game. I tried to go for him, and look at that. It gave him wings. And he flourished and had 4 assists against the Canucks. Guy Lafleur played in his 1000th game in his career. Didn't get a point, and that was against his former team, the Montreal Canadiens. Jeff Brown extends his assist streak to 8 games. He had 2 goals and an assist against Minnesota. And Gary Galley might be coming back soon. That would be great, because my D right now is not great. And John Cordick, rest in peace, and Wes Jarvis are available. I'm not going to pick them up. And now we have 4 days off. That's going to give a chance to a couple of our injured guys to maybe feel better. Oh, I probably should put Jim Fox to the injured reserve and then take a look at whom I'm going to call back. We really don't have a whole lot of options. Let's do Ken Baumgartner. Or let's do Gord Walker. Alright, 4 days off. There was no stopping Mark Messier, who had a hat-trick 3 goals against the Devils. Jeff Brown extends his assist streak to 9 games with a goal and an assist against the Islanders. Strong night for Bernie Nichols again. Hat-trick against the Flyers. And New York players reinstating the Team Kangaroo Court with Ron Grashner trying to catch somebody stepping on the logo. Which thankfully does not happen every month anymore like 2 versions ago. Alright, Gary Galley is feeling better. That's great. Alright, and now he is completely recovered. That is perfect. We're going to need him in the lineup. Alright, Mark Reeds. Rest in peace, buddy, as well. Wow. You know, You know you're playing in a little bit of an older era when some of the players you're looking at are dead now. Ray Neufeld is also on waivers. Alan Peterson, Gilles Hamel, and Miroslav Inachak. Yeah, I don't really need any of those guys. Mark Messier is 6 with Edmonton. He signed a 4-year contract extension. $365,000 per year. All right. So Peter Sundstrom is available on waivers. So is Al Hill. I'm not claiming either. All right, we're in Boston to play against the Bruins. So we're going to be facing our former teammate Doug Crossman. Boston is 24, 25, and 6. We are 0-1 against the Bruins this year. Let's see if we can beat them this time. Alright, so Gary Galley is going to play with Gerald the Duck. So the two defensemen I got are playing together on the first pair. Yeah, we really need for Gretzky to come back. It's going to make everybody fall into place perfectly. Alright, so Rolly Melanson going to be in net for us. Andy Moog is going to be in net for Boston. Go Kings go, that might be the problem. I didn't say that earlier in the stream. See, that's all that was missing. We won 5-2. So road win here in Boston at the Boston Garden, which was a smallish arena as a... So people like FJ who's watching, or maybe he's still watching, I don't know, but they wouldn't necessarily know that because by the time he was born, all of the arenas had exactly the same size and everything. But back in the day, the Boston Garden was kind of a smaller arena and everything. And yeah, let's just say that there was a reason why the Bruins were playing the way that they were playing. Alright, so we outshot Boston 33-30. Mike Ridley was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Mike Krushelinski was the second star with a goal and 2 assists. And Dave Taylor was the third star with 2 assists. Newcomer Gerald the Duck opened up the scoring in the first. It's his first goal with his new team from Mike Krushelinski and Dave Taylor. 1-0 Kings here after 1. Then in the second period, Mike Krushelinski scored from Dave Taylor and Mike Ridley. Then Mike Ridley scored his 20th unassisted. It was 3-0 Kings after 2. Then in the third period, Boston scored, made it 3-1. Then we scored 2 more goals. Paul Fenton scored his 15th from Gord Walker and Chris Contos. Then Mike Ridley scored from Mike Krushelinski and Gerald the Duck. It was 5-1. Then, near the end of the period, Boston scored, made it 5-2, but that was too little too late. That's a 3-goal win here on the road. And Bob Carpenter is hurt. Oh. I need to fire my trainer. That's what needs to happen. Oh, he's day-to-day. Okay, alright. So, except it's day-to-day and he can't play, I think. We'll see. Alright, let's take a look at the news. Carpenter, day-to-day against Boston. Bruised finger. Dude, you're gonna be out with a bruised finger? Do you know that about 20-something years from now, there's going to be a guy named Patrice Bergeron who's going to play in the playoffs with a punctured lung, and you're going to sit with a bruised finger? Ugh. They don't make them hockey players the way that they used to. Alright, Ray Bourque was also hurt. in that game. He's day-to-day with a minor facial cut. Ray Shepard extends his goal streak to 6 games. He had a goal and 2 assists against the Whalers. Jeff Brown's assist streak ended at 9 games. He did get 2 goals though against Pittsburgh, but that's no assists for him. So his point streak continues. Right, Jody Gage is on waivers, and so is David Fenives. Not too sure how to pronounce that one. But this guy there, he's on waivers, and I'm not picking him up. Even if he was a 5-star player, I'm not sure I would pick him up because I wouldn't know how to say his name anyway. Alright, so we're going to be in Washington. Yeah, look at Carpenter with his bruised finger. He's not going to be able to play. That's okay, I have some spares. We're good. Alright, so we're going to be meeting up with our old teammate Bernie Nichols here. We're going to be playing in Washington. They have a very similar record to ours. Actually, they are 38-15-3. We are 38-15-2. So they played one more game than us, and it was a tie. Other than that, we have the exact same record. That should be a pretty good game. We're 1-0 against Washington. We beat them 6-2. Yes, elite center Bernie Nichols. He is a 5-star player. That's why I traded him to Washington from Mike Gardner. Oh boy, I'm not liking my centers here, but it is what it is. Glenn Ely is going to be in net for the Kings. Pete Peters is going to be in net for the Capitals. And we won 4-2. Wow. We just beat a pretty good team. The Capitals are good in this save. We outshot them 42-29. Gord Deneen was the first star of the game. He had 2 assists. Dale Hunter was the second star with a goal. And Mike Gardner, was the third star with 2 goals. Alright, Mike Gardner opened up the scoring in the first period on the power play from Dan Gratton and Gary Galley. So Gary Galley got his first point with us as well. It was 1-0 for the Kings after one. There was a fight between Dale Hunter and Dave Taylor. Then in the second period, Mike Ridley scored from Gord Deneen and Steve Richmond, made it 2-0. Then Washington scored, made it 2-1 after 2. In the third period, Mike Gardner scored on the power play from Dan Gratton and Luke Robitaille, made it 3-1. Then the Capitals came back to within 1 again, but then with 19 seconds left to go in the game, Paul Fenton scored a short-handed goal in an empty net from Mike Krushelinski and Gord Deneen, and it was a 4-2 victory. God, FJ, you must be happy that I have Mike Krushelinski on the team, right? He ought to be like your favorite historical player. Alright, Ray Shepard extends his goal streak to 7 games with a goal against the Canucks. Suspension for Wayne Presley in that game. Sorry, it's a different game. He's gonna miss 6 games, wow. Steve Larmer had a great game. In that game where Presley was suspended, he had 5 assists against the Islanders. That's indeed a very good performance. Steve Thomas also with a good game in that one. 5 goals. You don't see those very often anymore. Is Charlie Bourgeois about to be moved? The half-star player that, I'm rumored to go after that half-star player that's 29 years old. What you don't know, what you don't see is that, prior to the stream, I spent 3 hours analyzing this player, that half-star player, trying to figure out if I should go and get him. I really wish they would not bother us with half-star player trade rumors. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next game, which is gonna be in Chicago. Larry Trader is on waivers. That's an interesting last name. All right, Jim Fox is starting to feel better. That's good. Dale Hawerchuk extended with Winnipeg. Rest in peace, of course. 3 more years in Winnipeg for Dale Hawerchuk. Oh, Mats Naslund, the little Viking, fell off a roof and injured himself. He's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks with a strained back. Oh, there's been a trade between the Whalers and the Nordiques. Oh, Randy Muller and Ron Tugnut are going to Hartford for Paul McDermott and Kay Whitmore. Quebec didn't make a very good trade here. Yeah, advantage to the Whalers in that one. Alright, we are in Chicago. God, Gretzky needs to come back here. Alright, we are in Chicago. They are 28, 24, and 4. And that's good for second in the Campbell Conference. Of course, they are second because they are leading their division. As you can see, the Oilers are third and they have 14 more points than them. So their division is a lot weaker than ours. Right, we are 1-0-1 against the Chicago Blackhawks, and it's one of those where it's wrong. It should be 1-1 because I lost in overtime against the Chicago Blackhawks, but in historical they don't display it properly. So we're technically 1-1 against them. Alright, Glenn Healy is going to be in net for us. Darren Pang, the diminutive goaltender, is going to be in net for the Blackhawks. And we won 3-2 in overtime. Alright, we will be happy with that. And we got outshot 39-29 too, so pretty good game overall. Chris Kontos was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Troy Murray was the second star with a goal as well, and Glenn Healy was the third star with 37 saves. Alright, so nobody scored in the first. Then in the second period, Chris Kontos scored from Paul Fenton and Bob Kudelski. Then Gerald Deduck scored his fifth from Mike Ridley and Luke Robitaille. It was 2-0 for the Kings. Then Chicago scored. It was 2-1 after 2. There was a fight between Dirk Graham and Tom Laidlaw in the third. That was in the second still. Sorry about that. In the third period, Chicago scored to tie the game. There was also a fight between Phil Sykes and Tom Laidlaw again. And then in overtime, freshly acquired Randy Wood scored from Paul Gay and Gary Galley. 3-2 Kings win in Chicago. Alright, Pat Mayer in Quebec is on waivers, and Roger Courtco in Hartford is on waivers as well. Ray Shepard extends his goal streak to 8 games. He had a goal against the Blues. Tomas Sundstrom extends his goal streak to 5 games. He had 2 goals and an assist against the Oilers. Paul Coffey extends his assist streak to 8 games with 3 assists against the Flames. Oh, who stepped on the logo? Michel Petit. Don't you have any respect? How do you dare step on the logo? Ron Grashner is gonna have you clean his car or something. Alright, so we have 2 days off, and then we're gonna be back home for 4 games. Hopefully Gretzky comes back during that time. Bob Carpenter is gonna be back soon. Hopefully. Ron Francis stays with the Hartford Whalers 4 more years. Alright, Yari Curry extends his point streak to 12 games. He had 2 assists against the Islanders. Thomas Sandstrom extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal against the Flyers. Paul Coffey's assist streak ended at 8 games, no points against the Buffalo Sabres. Ray Shepard in that same game extended his goal streak to 9 games with a goal. Bob Carpenter should be back soon, and Gretzky is starting to feel better. That's good. We can always use Wayne Gretzky. All right, we are hosting the Boston Bruins. They are now 26-26-6, and we won just not too long ago against them. That was a 5-2 victory in Boston. We're gonna hope to win again. Andy Moog is gonna be in net for the Bruins. We're gonna go with Glenn Ely. That's a tie. I guess we'll take the point. We did outshoot them 44-35. Dave Taylor was the first star. He had a goal and an assist. Telvin, what's his first name? Michael Telvin was the second star for Boston. He had 2 goals, and Bob Carpenter back in the lineup was the third star with a goal. Another sellout crowd here in LA. Galley opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 5th of the season. Unassisted, it was 1-0 for the Kings, and then the Bruins scored twice. It was 2-1 Boston after 1. Then in the second period, Dave Taylor tied the game from Mike Krushelensky and Marty McSorley. It was tied at 2 after 2. We went to the third period. Boston took the lead. It was 3-2, but then Bob Carpenter scored his 20th from Randy Ladouceur, and Dave Taylor brought everybody in overtime. Yeah, there were still 13:26 left to go in the third period, and nobody scored during that time. That went to overtime. Nothing happened there. So we have a 3-3 tie. Usually at home, I'm not as happy with ties, but it is what it is. And Gordonine is hurt. Okay. How long? What's the damage? Day to day. Alright. We're okay. Changing of guard for New Jersey. Jim Schoenfeld. So he's the coach and he might lose his job. The Devils are 23-32-3 this season. Not good enough, and they might be replacing him. Ray Shepard extends his goal streak to 10 games, 10 straight games with a goal for him. He had a goal and an assist against the Devils. Everett Sanipass is suspended with the Blackhawks. He's going to miss 5 games. Tom Fergus in Toronto is also suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. And Wayne Gretzky is ahead of schedule. Not ahead enough. Alright, so in 2 days we're going to be hosting the Quebec Nordiques. Alright, so yeah, Richmond can play. That's only day to day, right? Yeah, Black Eye. Mark Howe back from suspension in Philadelphia, back in the lineup over there. Gretzky is almost fully recovered. Richard Crum in Buffalo is on waivers. Ray Shepard extends his goal streak to 11 games. He had a goal against the Pittsburgh Penguins. 11 straight games with a goal. That's pretty fantastic. Yari Curry extends his point streak to 13 games. He had a goal against the Washington Capitals. Bobby Dulles in Winnipeg is suspended. He's going to miss 7 games. Bob Carpenter is fully recovered. Wayne Gretzky is fully recovered. And Richard Crum might get traded. And he's been put on waivers. Alright, the fun starts. We get to welcome that guy that you might have heard about that one time. Wayne Gretzky going to the active roster. We're gonna send down Gord, not Jeff Walker. There we go. Alright, we're ready to play against the Nordiques. Poor Nordiques. They are 17-40-3. Really not a great season, and that's the team that Gretzky comes back against. They must be like, man, we cannot catch a break. So we're 1-0 against the Nordiques this season. We won 5-4 in Quebec earlier this season. So Gretzky is back now. I like that. Now my centers look a lot better. Bob Mason is going to be in net for Quebec. We're going to go with Glenn Ely. And we lost. Of course. Alright, so we lost 5-3 against Quebec. We were outshot 36-31. Walt Podobny was the first star of the game. He had a hat trick, 3 goals. Chris Kontos was the second star with an assist, and Jeff Brown was the third star with 3 assists. Full arena here in Inglewood yet again. Quebec opened up the scoring in the first. They scored twice actually, so it was 2-0 Quebec after 1. Then in the second period, Quebec added 2 more goals. It was 4-0 Quebec after 2. Yikes. Then in the third period, Paul Fenton scored from Chris Kontos, and Ron Duguay made it 4-1. Then Quebec scored again, made it 5-1. Then we scored twice. Wayne Gretzky scored on the power play from Mike Gartner and Gary Galley. And then Randy Wood from Paul Gay and Randy Ladouceur made it 5-3, but we just ran out of time. Not a great game for Gretzky's return. And now Randy Wood is suspended. He's going to miss 5 games. Memorable game for Walt Podobny, as we saw he had a hat-trick against us. Bill Torrey might lose his job as the coach for the Islanders. Oh, the Islanders are also terrible this season. They are 16-35-7. Rick Tuckett has a great game. He had a goal and 4 assists against the Islanders. Patrick Roy signed an extension with Montreal, 5 years. And Don Maloney lost his gloves playing for the Rangers. So in a few days we're gonna see a news about somebody finding the gloves in his bag. Let's see, we have a day off and then we're hosting the Leafs. Doug Shedden is available on waivers. I am not going to pick him up. Yari Curry's point streak ended at 13 games. He was held scoreless against the Bruins. Bernie Nichols got his 600th point with a goal against the Vancouver Canucks. Gordonine is getting closer to return. That's good. Alright, and the Leafs are in town. They are 23-34-2. That's 8 in the Campbell Conference. We are 2-0 against Toronto this season. Let's go, Wayne. Give me a win all by yourself. John Casey is going to be in net for Toronto. We're going to go with Rolly Melanson. Oh, 8-3 win. There you go. That's more like it. And we were outshot 36-35 in that one. So the save percentage for John Casey is pretty much going down with diarrhea down the drain. Gretzky was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 4 assists. Bob Carpenter was the second star with 2 goals and an assist. And Marty McSorley was the third star with 3 assists. Another full house in Inglewood. 16,005 people. Alright, so Galley opened up the scoring in the first. That was a short-handed goal from Wayne Gretzky and Bob Carpenter. Then Toronto scored twice, and then we scored twice. Galley scored again on the power play this time from Wayne Gretzky and Dave Taylor. Then Dave Taylor scored on the power play from Wayne Gretzky and Galley. Wow, Galley has 2 goals and an assist so far in this game. Didn't even get a star. So it was 3-2 for the Kings, then Toronto tied the game, and then Paul Gay scored from Paul Fenton, and Mike Ridley made it 4-3 for the Kings here after 1. There was also a fight between Steve Richmond and Daniel Marois. So, right, now we went into the second period. Bob Carpenter scored from Dave Taylor and Tom Laidlaw, made it 5-3. Then Wayne Gretzky scored short-handed from Luc Robitaille and Marty McSorley. Then Bob Carpenter from Wayne Gretzky and Marty McSorley again. 7-3 for the Kings after 2. And then finally in the third period we added 1 more goal from Marty McSorley and Mike Krushelnyski. That was Mike Gartner scoring, by the way. 8-3 for the Kings. That's a good old trashing of the Toronto Maple Leafs, like most Canadian hockey fan that is not a Leaf fan is going to appreciate dearly. Alright, excellent passing leads to productive night for Wayne Gretzky. We saw that, a goal and 4 assists. Suspension over for Fergus. And Gord Dineen is going to be back soon here. That's true, we don't have Randy Wood suspended for 4 more games. Alright, we're going to go ahead and advance. Craig Simpson extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal against the Hartford Whalers. Dale Hawerchuk extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and 2 assists against the Quebec Nordiques. An excellent passing leads to productive night for Mike Bullard. He had 5 assists against the Canucks. Alright, let's see here. So we are hosting the Washington Capitals. That's going to be the first time that Washington comes to play in LA. We played them twice in Washington and won both games. So it's going to be the first... It's going to be the return for Bernie Nichols to LA. So 2-0 against Washington. They have a really good team. They are 40, 19, and 4. Alright, for that one, they're going to have Clint Malarchuk. And we're going to go with Glenn Ely. That's another win for the Kings. We won 5-2. We were outshot 44-42. Luc Robitaille was the first star of the game. He had 3 assists. Marty McSorley was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Glenn Ely was the third star with 42 saves. Another sellout crowd. That's awesome what Wayne Gretzky can do to attract fans in the stands. Alright, so Washington opened up the scoring in the first. Then Marty McSorley scored from... Paul Fenton and Luc Robitaille. It was tied at 1 after 1. There was a fight between Marty McSorley and Scott Stevens. Then in the second period, Dan Gratton scored, gave us a 2-1 lead. Then Wayne Gretzky from Luc Robitaille and Gord Dineen. It was 3-1 for the Kings. At that point, then the Washington Capitals scored 3-2 after 2. Marty McSorley and Dale Hunter got into a scrap, and then Randy Ladouceur and Neil Sheehy, so a couple fights there. And then we added 2 more goals in the third period. Mike Krushelnyski scored from Marty McSorley and Bob Carpenter, and then Wayne Gretzky on the power play from Luc Robitaille and Mike Gartner. That was a 5-2 victory. Oh yeah, the Kings are still doing pretty good. Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 12 games with his 2 goals. Suspension for Gary Nylund in Chicago. He's gonna miss 5 games. Wayne Presley's suspension ends, so back in the lineup over there. And Gordon Dineen is almost recovered. Peter Stastny has a great game. He had 4 assists against Hartford. And Gordon Dineen is primed to return, so he is fully recovered. So we only have 2 injuries left, Dean Kennedy and Jim Fox. Alright, that's good. So we have 3 more games left here in February. And we're going to be on the road for a bit here. So that's going to start in Edmonton against the Oilers, and that's today. Oilers are 36-20-7. That's the team that's the closest to us in the standings. They are 8 point backs. They have played 2 more games than us, though. So we have a little bit of a cushion there, but we cannot take it for granted. We're 2-2 against the Oilers this season. They're playing us pretty tight. Glenn Ely is going to be in net for us. Bill Ranford is going to be in net for Edmonton. And we won 5-3. Oh yeah. We outshot Edmonton 43-23. Luke Robitaille was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Yari Curry was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Wayne Gretzky was the third star with 2 more goals. So Marty McSorley opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 10th of the season from Chris Kontos and Mike Ridley. It was a 1-0 game for the Kings at that point. Then we had a fight between Reed Larson and Gordon Dineen. Then in the second period, Luke Robitaille scored. That was unassisted. Then the Oilers scored. It was 2-1 for the Kings. Then Wayne Gretzky scored. That was his 55th of the season from Paul Fenton and Bob Kudelski. It was 3-1 for the Kings. And then the Oilers scored again. It was 3-2 here after 2. Then in the third period, the Oilers tied the game, but then Luke Robitaille scored the game winner. That was his 30th of the season from Tom Layla and Marty McSorley. And then in an empty net, Wayne Gretzky scored from Luke Robitaille and Gerald Deduck. 5-3 the final score. We had a fight between Reed Larson and Marty McSorley as well. So FJ, what did you decide to do with your out-of-the-park baseball save? Are you still trying to figure it out right now? Oh, Dwayne Sutter is available on waivers. I cannot pick him up, but I might have thought about it if I could. Right, Wayne Gretzky extends his point streak to 13 games, 2 goals here, as we saw. Craig Simpson extended his goal streak to 6 games in that game against us with his goal. Kurt Giles might get traded out of Minnesota. I don't know that I would go for him, but he's a 2.5-star defenseman. So for once, they are giving me news about a player that could potentially be interesting to trade for. And back to the Alpha Star player that's rumored to be going out on trade, Mark Curtin. Alright, so we have a day off. Craig Simpson extends his goal streak to 7 games with a goal and an assist against the St. Louis Blues. Great night for Ray Ferraro. He had 5 assists against the Bruins. That's pretty good indeed. Sylvain Turgeon has a strong game in Hartford as well. 4 goals in that same game. Brian Leach extends his assist streak to 8 games with 3 assists against the Nordiques. Jim Fox getting close to returning. We want to move Paul Fenton. Boston, Toronto, and Buffalo are believed to be interested in the left wing. Well, if they are, they haven't manifested themselves yet. What will Edmonton do with Nick Fotiu, the half-star player that nobody wants? Trade rumor, Darren Jensen may be leaving Vancouver, the alpha-star goaltender. Well, it is franchise hockey manager, so alpha-star goaltender might actually be a Vezina winner next season. So I'm debating if maybe I should pick him up. Alright, so the trade deadline is nearing. It's like on the 3rd of March or something like that. I had checked it eventually at one point. Yeah, it's on the 3rd. So I'm gonna have time to do something at the start of the next stream here. Alright, so we're in New Jersey to play against the Devils. Devils are now 24, 35, and 3. We are 2-0 against the Devils this season. We did beat them earlier this month, 6-1, I believe. Alright, Rolly Melanson in net for us. Sean Burke in net for the Devils. That's a 5-2 win for the Kings. We outshot the Devils 51-17. Wow. Bob Kudelski was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Chris Kontos was the second star with 2 assists. And Mike Gartner was the third star with an assist. Bob Kudelski opened up the scoring in the first from Chris Kontos and Gerald Deduck. Then the Devils tied the game, and it was tied at 1 after 1. There was quite the slew of penalties in the first. So Joe Cirillo fought Marty McSorley. Then Joe Cirillo fought Marty McSorley again. And then Perry Anderson fought Randy Ladouceur, probably because Joe Cirillo and Marty McSorley were still in the box. And yeah, that's it. Alright, in the second period, Dave Taylor scored. That was unassisted. 2-1 Kings at that point. Then Wayne Gretzky scored from Bob Kudelski and Chris Kontos. Wayne Gretzky scored again from Mike Ridley and Gary Galley. It was 4-1 for the Kings. The Devils scored, made it 4-2, but we scored right at the buzzer at the 20-minute mark. Luke Robitaille scored from Mike Gartner and Ron Duguay. 5-2 for the Kings. Absolutely nothing happened in the third period. No penalties, no goals, nothing. Marty McSorley is hurt. Well, I guess that's his turn, huh? He's just day-to-day, so he's gonna stay exactly where he's at. Right, Carpenter is also day-to-day. God, that's the 3rd time he got injured this season. He's gonna miss 40 with what? A sore ankle? What the heck, man? Alright, Wayne Gretzky extends his goal streak to 5 games. He scored 2 more, as we saw. That was 14 straight games with a point for him. Everett Sanipass suspension ends in Chicago, back in the lineup. Dean Kennedy is ready to return to ice. That's good. He's getting to feel better. Could Scott Kleinendorf be traded? Maybe. And Daryl Evans, rumor, another alpha star player. Alright, and the last game of February for us, we are going to be playing at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers. Rangers are 33-28-2. We are 1-0-1 against the Rangers, but it is really 1-1. I explained that earlier. That's the same situation. We lost in overtime, so there's no point awarded, so it should be 1-1. Alright, Glenn Ely in net for us, John Van Beesbrook in net for the Rangers. Ooh. I mean, I understand we're not going to win every game and everything, but that one stinks. We lost 7-0. We were outshot 33-32. John Van Beesbrook first star of the game with the shutout and 32 saves. Brian Leach was the second star with 2 goals and an assist, and John Ogrodnik was the third star with a goal and 2 assists. Not gonna go through any of that stuff because we didn't score and there weren't any fights. So February ends with a trouncing of us, so I don't like that all that much. Oh, Scott Gordon is available. I could pick him up, but I won't. Wayne Gretzky's point streak ended at 14 games since we got shut out. No point for the great one. Brian Leach extends his assist streak to 9 games with 2 goals and an assist against us. Randy Wood is back from suspension. That's good. Alright, don't need that. Edmonton is shopping Shorodensky. Glenn Cochrane has trade rumors attached to him with his Alpha Star talent. Same for Mark Crawford. Maybe he should become a coach right away. Alright, February 28th, we're gonna go ahead and sim one more day. That's gonna bring us to March 1st, sorry. Alright, Jean Perron to be fired in Quebec. So Quebec is 1943-3, so Jean Perron might lose his job as the coach. The top-selling LA Kings jerseys in February: Wayne Gretzky, Mike Gartner, Rolly Melanson, Mike Ridley, and Glenn Ely. Alright, so Ridley is starting to sell jerseys. See, that wasn't a bad acquisition at all. Selling jerseys, making kids happy and stuff. Jim Fox back sooner rather than later. Good. The top-selling jerseys in the NHL, we have 5 of them out of 20. That's pretty good. Gretzky is 3rd. Mike Gartner is 8th. Rolly Melanson is 11th. Mike Ridley is 13th. And Glenn Ely is 20th. Oh, dear God, did we... Wait. Don't tell me that it's possible. We finally knocked Brian Hayward out of the top 20 jersey sales in the month. So Ron Francis finally sold more jerseys than Brian Hayward. Well, there's still some good that can happen in the world. Alright, so Bill Root is being shopped with his Alf Star. Daryl May also being shopped with his Alf Star talent. Jeff Brubaker, same deal. And the players of the month were John Ogrodnik with the Rangers and Patrick Roy in Montreal. Alright, so yeah, we're dealing with some minor injuries, but that's pretty much it. Other than that, we should be pretty healthy. My D is not as strong as it was. What the shame is that, you know, it was already not great. I just couldn't get somebody great to come in. So we're gonna need to kind of ride it out for now. There's not that many great defensemen that fits in the ARG mold, so I don't know what's going to happen there. But anyway, so let's take a look at the standings. So we're still first. We have a 10-point lead on the Oilers. The Oilers have played one more game than us, so we have some breathing room there, but it's not a given. Oh, we have the best team in the NHL, by the way. That's pretty good. Alright, so conference-wise, let's see here. Okay. Alright, so again, there's only 5 teams not making the playoffs. Islanders, Quebec, Devils, Canucks, and Blues. Again, the Blues are kind of on the verge there of maybe catching up to the Leafs or something, so they might be able to squeeze in. Other than that, I think that it's pretty much going to be the teams that, again, teams might get shuffled, you know, change positions, but as far as teams that are going to qualify, I don't think that the Devils are going to make up a 7-point deficit on the Sabres. So, yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at our stats. Alright, so we have 2 100-point players. Gretzky has 111 points in 57 games, and then Mike Gardner has 102 in 64 games. There might be a shot for Luc Robitaille to make it to 100 as well. He's at 74. He needs, of course, 26. That's doable, but he's going to need to kind of increase the pace just slightly. Then it goes down from there. I traded my best offensive defenseman in Steve Duchesne, so I don't really have a great offensive D-man there. My best is Marty McSorley. That's saying a lot. So, yeah. Now, as far as the league goes, Gretzky is still the best goal scorer despite missing 3 weeks. He has 58 goals. Gardner is second with 53. Then Sylvain Turgeon has 52. That's pretty good. How many did he score that year? I am curious. Alright, in 88 to 89, Sylvain Turgeon played in 42 games, so he scored 16 goals. Yeah, he's having a little bit of a better season than he did in real life, huh? Alright. And then Gretzky is first for points with 111. Oh, the best passer is Paul Coffey with 70 assists. Gretzky 111 points, that's the best in the league. Second is Dan Quinn at 103, and then Gardner at 102. Alright. For goaltenders, Glenn Ely is second in save percentage. That's pretty good. Rolly Melanson is 8. Both of them are still above 900, which, you know, in those years, that's pretty impressive. And Glenn Ely has the most goals saved above average with almost 20. That's also excellent. So doing pretty good there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and save the game. And now I'm gonna go ahead and stop here for today. I will be taking a nap and then making dinner, but I do need a nap, so I'm gonna go and join that that boy right there behind me. So, in case you're not watching, the boy is a cat. Don't be starting rumors about me. So, yeah. So next time out, we're going to be playing March. That's the trade deadline. We're going to be trying to move other players that need to be moved, or else I'm going to lose them for nothing. I'll see what I can come up with. But anyway, so as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in. And if you're watching this on YouTube and you've liked the video, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.